This is hello. It's me. It's Iodine. Um, my recent post has gained a lot of traction, so I thought I'd show you every single individual frame and my thought process when making them. And also because I didn't, you know, get my, you know, animation for day 4 out on time. It's because it's finals week right now. So trying to keep up with animating every day is kind of difficult whenever, I'm trying to focus on my studies and I couldn't. So that's why I made today's extra special. So this one, I don't know, I just drew two characters because that's my new thing is drawing two characters. I'm going to try and continue off of this one. So, yeah, this one is going to be my main character for most of them. I don't know if I'm going to have any dignifying traits, but on this one, I just made him close his arms, and then I added a windy visual effect because, look, he starts to lift off the ground. So I make it swoop under his feet, right? A lot of these are bundles and are in one smooth thought. And I came back to add the whooshing off of his head because I was like, might as well. Also, originally, I did not have these feet here. I added them because it's a nice detail to look out for. Anyways, he crosses his arm for about a couple of frames, uncrosses them, wind particles. And that's just to show a lot of motion, mainly. And this is also to show the motion of him like, oh shit, he's about to attack. And boom, shockwave. Puts up his arms, just like, ooh. He lets his guard down for a little bit, then puts it back up. Because in the next frame, he moves a considerable amount from being smashed by this. And this is just like the breaking of the supersonic barrier right here. Boom. Boom. I don't know what that is right there, but pretty much, oh shit. And I did this because moving him like this makes him look like he actually moved. When you play it. What that ad? Gosh darn it. There's ads in this app now, which suck. Yeah, so yeah, and then boom. He's flying off with him off screen. Wind effects, fading away. And before it can completely fade away, boom. Classic Family Guy cutaway. And then you can see a little dude. You can see a little guy walking across the thing, and then you see that little blur. Bang. It didn't show this on the short whenever I cropped it for some reason, but pretty much, boom, a flash goes by. And then in the next frame, bang, the shockwave hits. And the house here is actually, I don't know why I put so much effort into something that a lot of you really actually can't even see without this video. But hey, people may go out their way, plus it looks satisfying to me. So I drew a hole here first, and then around it, I drew a bunch of wind particles. And I drew a bunch of dust out the back, just to show, oh yeah, something went through it and it exploded. And then this is big wind gust behind the house, and then a shockwave coming off of it. And this is literally just boom. No lead up to this whatsoever, besides the quick flashing by. Okay, back. The next frame, boom, house is in smithereens. And there's a crater forming. You really can't see this if you don't look hard enough, but I have added these little wind effects that are pushing. They're slightly just that slight bit transparent. So you can see. I don't know why they were slightly transparent, but I stuck with it. And like you can see it even when they're overlapping on each other. It looks kind of cool. And then this stuff that was whooshing behind the house is now fading away. It's a giant shockwave. And then, yeah, more shockwaves are going away, but more are forming. And then this one, the crater gets bigger and the house is completely erased. Shockwaves got bigger, boom, big boom, big VFX. Boom. And then, as you can see, the mountain kind of slumps because of the insane amount of pressure that was just, put here. So it was, as it whooshed by, as the two characters whooshed by, this area, in realistic times, would actually be pushed this way according to the pressure. So I made it accordingly. So I made it from this to this. It was more and more pressure piled on to the ever-increasing size of the crater. And again, this up here is fading away. And this didn't take me too long. The only parts that take me long is the original artwork, which I add the VFX after drawing the artwork. I pretty much, all of this was drawn without all of the gray. Just a reminder, all of the gray is added in afterwards. All of everything that you see here was pretty much storyboarded before I even did anything. Because there's originally a bunch of frames in between this, but it took too long for the house to get destroyed. And I'm like, okay, bro. People want to see bang, gone. Not, ooh, slow explosion, no. As you can see, the house is actually inflating from the pressure on the inside, and it pops. As you can kind of see, these little black parts flying off. And then, bang, bigger crater, more fading away, boom, more fading away as the shockwaves get smaller and lighter, more fading away, more fading away until completely gone for about 3 frames before I cut to this shot. This is a very experimental shot. This is the first of its kind that I've ever tried to do. So, yeah, it's pretty much just like, I drew the head going down, like this big ball right here. I drew that going down first. Yeah. And I just copied that 2 times, so instead of 12, it was, instead of 12, it was 6. So it went down very slowly. And then afterwards, I added in the guy. As you can see, as my drawings aren't too perfect. But as he goes down, he continues to rise up, which implies that he's flying upward as the camera is panning up to match his pace. And fun fact, this is very gruesome. So, just saying, just like be warned, this is extremely gruesome. I realized that, it could use some fan work. So it goes for a while with this gruesome scene. That's an eyeball, and it took me forever to get that pupil on there. And so at the last second, I added blood to this guy's hands. Added blood dripping from the body. Added more detail. And I added blood spattered all over the rock. Just because it's extra artwork, just for this vid. It's not in the actual thing, and it never was. And just look at how detailed that is. I'm sorry if you didn't want to see that today, but you kind of gotta. So yeah, I tried a new experimental thing again. Very experimental shot with destroying. And so I'm going to have a bunch more explosions and people destroying mountains and stuff now. Just very experimental. Yet again, I'm a very calculative person. So every single one of these things, yet again, is based off of real physics on how it will work in real life. So this collision you see here, you see the house inflating, you see the pressure coming off, you see all this, you see wind lines falling back because of the circulating pressure pushing off of the house, rebounding back, creating airflow, and then boom, the house, almost as if the air pressure isn't completely sealed, so it just pushes on forward to, because the sound barrier was just absolutely destroyed by these two rushing forth. And so bang, 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 bang. So it pretty much just grabs the house and punches straight through it. And then the house gets flung and thrown apart, pretty much. So yeah, and then boom, as it slowly fades over time, because no pressure is equally, it never stays forever. It always just fizzles. It just fizzles after a while. And the little crater right here, that also took a little bit to make, because of the significant amount of times. I drew it once, and then I just copied it a bunch. Like, for each of these frames with this one crater, I literally just copied it a bunch, and then I had a bit extra, so I'm like, hey, I might as well. All of my animations are purely drawn by myself, funded by myself. Actually, not even funded. You wouldn't even fund this. So yeah, 3 frames, I think. How many frames into this? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames in out of 8. 6 frames out of 9, actually. Yeah, 6 frames out of 9 is when the goriness appears. The more goriness, anyways. It's already gory as is. It just gets worse. Pretty much, yeah. This is a very gruesome, but I would like to experiment with him punching his face and then the skin falling off and the skull and the eye popping out, all that, but I'm not able to upload that to YouTube. That's way too gruesome. And yet again, I'm going to put a graphic warning at the beginning of this, because yet again, this one's name inside of the file, so literally VILT, Viltrumite, so it's a little extreme. And I made him fly for that specific purpose, because I was low-key doodling in class today, and I was like, I just want to animate that. And that's why this is a combined effort for 5 and 4, So if I don't upload an animation for a day, just expect a huge apology with getting a absolutely massive animation buff for the next animation. It's going to be a combined animation, pretty much just like tokens. You can use one token, get a mid-animation that takes like a second or 2. Or you can spend 2 tokens, get an amazing animation that takes... This, I think, literally took me 4 hours because I went through about 4 comedy specials while listening to this. Well, I listened to about 4 comedy specials while doing this. And that's how I've started making my animations recently, just by listening to music and blocking out all of my surroundings to lock in and focus on what I'm going to do next. So yeah, here, I'll let it run through a couple of times just so, you can actually appreciate this. Anyways, one honorable mention. Dude in the house. There's a dude walking by. That was funny to animate. The little dude walking by and then his house gets fucking... Like, literally, moments before disaster, bro walks by, unsuspecting AF. Bang! His house got absolutely split. And by the way, I didn't even want to make gore for that because this motherfucker's gone. I'm sorry, but this guy, that motherfucker's gone. I'm sorry. Something that can do that to a house, yeah, no, that guy's gone. I'm sorry. R.I.P. little dude in the house. It just looks like you got fatter for real. By the way, I had to redraw this entire scene to do this for some reason, even though I could have just totally erased the house, which I'm thinking was probably a better idea. But then I had to draw this, and I had to redraw this a couple of times. Anyways, this is like my best animation yet. Also, look at this guy. He's so stress-free. And then, like, as soon as he starts flying, he low-key locks in. And then as he realizes he's about to get attacked, he like, oh, huh? Ooh. And he blocks. But in the end, bro got cooked. Yeah, I have a lot of fun animating for, YouTube and stuff, but yet again, I actually don't think I've said this, but my content's going to take more of a turn towards animation because I want it to, and I want to become a professional animator one day. And plus, Epic VFX is like my whole thing. I'm like, I would love to be the explosions guy. And also, I noticed that some of my animations aren't as fast-paced as I would like them to be. So I literally just did this. And it was fun to create a free character on the board instead of having them limited to gravity. Having them be able to flip like this, that it's really, really freeing to be able to just draw a character anywhere and have them be able to, really, really it is. Just having them able to freely lift themselves off the floor like this. Because drawing characters anywhere you want is so much easier than having to, also look at this. When he blocks, he also, locks in. Also, one thing I'm going to disclose with you, I don't know why this happens, but they both shrink at one point, and I'm going to leave that to the camera zooming out, low-key. I don't know why they shrunk. They shrunk a significant amount, and I tried bringing them back, but ultimately, yeah, bro got... I had storyboarded this a lot before, and I couldn't really do much with what I wanted to do, so, and also the wind sucking upward is my proudest achievement of vertical finesse. And I know a lot of people would have loved to see this finished, but this is the last scene of the guy being pushed. That is the last thing before the Family Guy cutaway to the house where this guy's walking across. Boom. By the way, this doesn't show up on YouTube. Blur flashes by. Frame afterward because I messed up. Bang! House gets actually smited. I'm sorry, but that's really brutal. I'm sorry that had to happen to you, bro. There's just ore farming low-key. I would have animated this if I hadn't, gotten severely bored and, wanted to add this to YouTube already, so, hey. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. Goodbye and have a great day. Thank you very much.